never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up.
The past is gone. Now's the future.
Yeet! Yeet! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the Weekly Review. My name is Mike Larkin, and by my side, as always, are my brothers in arms, the RWT Deadman Paul Morales, and my boy DC Daniel Crimmins. Gentlemen, we have had a hell of a week. We had a hell of a week in the international side of things on both Raw and Smackdown, and the world of NXT, and especially AEW. Holy shit. So what a better way to start, since we mentioned the AEW side of things. We'll go with AEW's number one fanboy, number one defender, number one supporter. Dave Meltzer is doggone at it again. So we'll start with this tweet, because there's been 3 tweets this week that have catched all of our eyes. This one is the one that pisses a lot of people off, especially these two gentlemen and myself. Dave Meltzer says if he was AEW, he would not let Sting induct Lex Luger into the WWE Hall of Fame. They did that with Billy Gunn. That turned out really well. I wouldn't do it. The situation's changed. You can play the good guy all you want when the other side is always taking cheap shots at you and slapping you around. If the thing happened with Billy Gunn and it went differently, maybe I would, but probably not. Not in this day and age. If Lex Luger went into the Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, then I would have absolutely no problem. Absolutely none. When it's the WWE Hall of Fame on a WWE broadcast, you can look at it like doing Luger a favor rather than WWE, but that's the weakness they're counting on. How many guys from WWE under contract were allowed to do Sting's retirement show? 0. So why should you reciprocate? If Lex Luger was allowed to do Sting's show, that's my argument. I do not see any reason why Tony should be cooperative other than it's a business deal, and they make a business deal. If they want to go in there and make a business deal and say, we'll plug all in during our show, maybe I consider it at that point. And that was Dave Meltzer. I love that whole thing. Paul,
you did a great job with your Dave Meltzer impression. I am impressed.
How
about you? God forsaken. God, anything that this man does and says, God, I want to reach through I want to reach through Twitter and just punch him in his damn mouth.
Right? Kick him in the dick.
Well, that too. I mean, Brian was already having hard enough time with him. I mean, I don't know if kicking him in the dick will do any good. Right. Look, what's worse about this is that open mouth, insert foot. You don't run these fucking companies. Stop trying to act like how you would run it, and you don't give a shit about people. Okay, if you don't give a shit about people, then that means you don't give a shit about Lex Luger.
Right.
And you're shitting on WWE because they don't fucking like you. Specifically The Rock, and the same people who fucking call you out for every fucking thing that you say, trying to say, pretty much are saying that everything you say is fucking pointless. And it means absolutely nothing to anybody but you.
And his cult fans.
Go for it.
Good.
You know what? Dave, why the fuck is he so goddamn bitter?
Because
he and Vince used to be cool.
Yeah, they were on the Donahue show together, the whole nine. They were boys.
I don't fucking get it. Like, Dave, do you not realize that? Okay, one thing. Tony Khan has no issue with Jake Roberts being in the WWE video games. Jake's been in the past several video games.
Oh, yeah.
He's got no problem with WWE releasing Billy Gunn action figures. He's got no problems with Billy Gunn appearing in WWE 2K25.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, there were people that are in the WWE new video game that are AEW talent.
Right?
Is he saying, hey, pull them from the game?
No. The problem is Dave is stuck in 2019 when Triple H called them a pissant company, and that has grinded his gears ever since, and they always take shots when it's the other way around.
It's a fucking joke.
I know.
Shit.
I know, but it's the other way around, because AEW is always taking shots at WWE because they can't help themselves. But it's a thing where Dave didn't like the joke, and he still thinks that his ideology of wrestling is what's going to help. And look at how AEW is doing now.
I'm picturing that meme, that Simpsons meme of Abe Simpson yelling at the cloud, says old man yells at cloud.
Yeah, that's Dave.
Dave, you are an irrelevant, dare I say, obsolete mule that needs to be deleted.
Well, we're going to probably delete him even more after this one. So there's 2 more of Dave that we have tweet-wise, and it didn't stop at the Lex Luger tweet. So this is also from Dave Meltzer, and he weighed in on the potential triple threat match between Roman, Seth, and Punk. It doesn't make any sense. Literally none of these men have history together at all. Scoffs. I've seen the biggest throwaway matches that Vince has given us throughout the years, but this might actually take the cake. Absolutely bleak. He might be right, as a joke the person wrote under it. Okay. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, The Shield. CM Punk was originally the one who came up with the idea of the Shield. They were his bodyguards. CM Punk and Seth Rollins have history, especially with this feud and going all the way back to the Shield days. Roman Reigns and CM Punk the CM Punk and the Shield feuded with each other. So this feud goes on over 12 fucking years. Okay, Dave? There's history with each and every one of these men, not just in their recent tenures in WWE, but this shit goes 12 years and beyond. Okay, so don't tell me that this shit doesn't make sense when every part of this makes sense. From the Rumble, from Survivor Series to where we are now. Stop it. You're just lying to yourself. Stop fucking lying to yourself. Go ahead, Dan.
Shut the fuck up,
Dave. Paul?
Not only did it started way before the Rumble. It actually started at Survivor Series. Yeah. If you want to look at, since he's been back, he feuded with Seth Rollins. He's been feuding with him since last year. Since he came back, he's had that whole argument with Drew McIntyre, or had that series of matches with Drew McIntyre. Still, Seth Rollins was still chirping in the background, saying, CM Punk was this, CM Punk was that. And once he's back, we get what we got at Royal Rumble. Or no, not Royal Rumble. God damn it. At freaking Survivor Series with Punk teaming with Roman and, the
War Games,
the rest of the Bloodline, against Bloodline 2.0. And we got some sort of favor out of it. But you already know what I'm gonna say. It's the fact is that there's a feud there. You mentioned 12 years. How is it that fucking Dave all of a sudden can remember what he did what happened in 1976, but can't remember what happened 12 fucking years ago? Oh, I know why.
Okay, why?
I don't know.
Dave can remember the shit that Tony Khan took on February 22nd, 2008 at 9:22 and 35 seconds. He can remember that bullshit.
Yeah, and he can remember Zack Sabre Jr.
Dave, Google is free. You're a journalist.
He can also remember Zack Sabre Jr. and Shota Umino and how long that went at this year's Wrestle Kingdom. But, we can't remember the 12-year history of fucking CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Dave just goes to show why he is an absolute...
Shut up.
Just shut up.
Yeah.
And we got one more from Uncle Dave. And this is one that Daniel has picked. So we will go with Daniel on this.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel. Oh, all right.
Thanks, DC. I love you.
You're welcome.
I really, really, truly love you.
So,
Hi guys.
So we'll pull this bad boy up. So Dave responds to a fan. How do you know anyone is even watching on Max? Is what another Dave, Swansea, replies and writes to him. So Dave Meltzer writes, because WWE claims a 40% gain on Peacock for Saturday night's main event, and AEW pushes Max far harder than WWE push Peacock for Saturday night's main event. Also, while I don't accept the results of every poll, I do believe since the results all seem to be pretty similar, it suggests the number is significant. Oh, my dear sweet Jesus.
Dare I say that? Dare I say it? Do I really want to go there?
Yeah, go for it.
Just say it, man.
You know, just
Are we sure his real last name isn't Trump?
Oh, god damn! He went.
Because I mean, seriously, like, also, I don't accept the results of every poll. I do believe, since the results all seem to be pretty similar, it suggests the number is significant. Dave, what does it matter? And your minions, it's like your fucking bullshit rating system. Who the fuck cares if you have 35 million fucking stars?
Yep.
Do stars pay your bills?
No.
Ability does. People are giving this turd
$15
more credibility. Like,
I know.
you know, and we should be shocked, but I'm not.
No, I mean, I even look at it like this. So if he really wants to do ratings, I mean, NXT had one of its. It was a great show this week, but NXT had one of its lowest ratings ever thus far in the CW, and they still beat Dynamite in the ratings this week. So I mean, what the hell does that tell you? But I mean,
Mike,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Puppy Bowl could beat
The
Dynamite.
Puppy Bowl. Look at this man with the Puppy Bowl. Okay, Paul,
Yeah,
do you want
the Puppy Bowl?
sure. Do you want to add on to the fuckery that is Dave Meltzer with this tweet?
No, I am good. I am done with fucking Dave for today.
Ladies and gentlemen, and that is the Dave Meltzer hour.
Shut the fuck up, Dave.
So, moving away from Dave, we do go now to some Tony Khan.
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you. So Tony Khan got.
Please don't wait me, John. I'll pay you.
So Bill Simmons on a recent podcast took a shot at Tony Khan, and it's very, very funny. Before we get even into the AEW and one of the most spots of the week, here's Bill Simmons taking a shot at Tony Khan. Hold on.
I think the Jaguars will ever get it, and one of the reasons they'll never get it is because the owner's son, who runs the team, also runs AEW and writes all the scripts for it every week. And I just don't think they're on the ball. This is my take.
Literally, Tony Khan, the son of the owner of the Jags, showed up, I think last year's draft, was it, where he had the neck brace from whatever they were doing at AEW?
Yeah,
like,
because he was doing an AEW bit. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a good summation of how the Jags are run. But yeah,
I don't think the Jaguars will ever get it, and one of the reasons they'll never get it is because the owner's son, who runs the team, also runs AEW and writes all the scripts for it every week. And I just don't think they're on the ball. This is my take.
Okay, so let's talk
Can
about.
I just say real quick, that picture made me think of Men in Black.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. So, do you want to talk about Bill Simmons taking the shot at Tony Khan? Paul, you can go ahead first.
He ain't wrong.
He's not wrong at all with how Tony runs the Jaguars and everything and how he runs AEW. He's not wrong at all. He said it. I mean, having going out with the neck brace, doing the friggin' thing like he's Andy Kaufman last year. Tony is gonna Tony. Go ahead, Dan.
You know, it's sad how accurate that was. Like that, the accuracy of that statement, like we said, I'm sure Tony's a nice guy, but yeah.
Nothing ever came of that story.
Nothing at all. It just
nothing came of that, of everything. Him being out there with a freaking neck brace, and nothing came of it. Much like the Jaguars season, nothing came of it.
Much like the Jaguars' whole existence.
Right.
No. Take that back, because
No.
they did make the playoffs a few times. And they at least and that was before fucking Khan decided to take them over. But even still, then no. Okay, well then, never mind.
Well,
hey, that elite storyline. Whatever happened to that? Oh yeah.
Yeah, nothing ever happened of it. Oh yeah, because Tony didn't want to be featured the way as a weak
I can't be
guy.
featured. I can't do that.
That whole Sammy Guevara Chris Jericho feud. Oh yeah, they never did anything with that either.
No, that just went to him doing the Shawn Michaels spot from Mania 19 and then went nowhere. That's literally what happened. It went nowhere right after that. It just
Pretty much.
That's the whole AEW thing. Stop and start. And I will say this before we do get into.
And you remember that time I booked you in November 22nd, 1993? Ah!
The thing is, too, that goes along with it is this week's AEW, and we're going to talk about it, but the one thing I do have to mention, we said last week on this fine program that Tony Storm and Mariah May, like everybody said, should have main evented Revolution. So what does he do this week? Oh, I'll listen to the fans! So the match that should have main evented was Moxley and Cope in the friggin' street fight. But no, we went with Tony Storm and friggin' on commentary with Megan Bayne and Chris Statlander, and that main evented, so we can set up Tony Storm and Megan Bayne for a friggin' AEW Dynasty, which Megan Bayne has only had 4 goddamn matches, and she doesn't talk, and it goes over like a fart in church when she first attacked her. It was like when William Dafoe got killed in Spider-Man by the Green Goblin. Godspeed.
Hey, that still hits home.
I know, man. I love that film, but I'm giving an example. I'm sorry. But they say that a hero can save us. But the thing, too, else at the end of the day is you're putting Megan Bayne in a main event with Chris Statlander when the main event should have been Moxley and Cope, not the other way around. And the main event of friggin' Revolution should have been Tony and Mariah, not Mox and Cope. So Tony is just out. If he doesn't listen or he half listens, and this is what we got, and that match was what it was. You knew Tony Storm was going to beat Megan Bayne. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. And then, of course, the fucking heel turn after this fucking match. Good God. So Mox and Cope have their match, and they're brawling, and they're doing what they do. It's a street fight. So the main thing is, I will say about this feud, Mox and Cope are doing their thing. It's a street fight. They're doing what this is the match that should have been on pay-per-view. But then he gets out the goddamn spike, and then he hits him in the gut, and then he places it on the mat, and then he starts hooking him up, and I'm like, no. For the love of God, no. And he suplexes this man on the nail board, and the thing sticks in his fucking back, and they can't get it out. He tells Wheeler Yuta to go do the table spot, and it's friggin' stuck, and then they finally get it out. This was ridiculous. It was fucking ridiculous. And before we play the busted open clips, I will start with Daniel, because I see you're shaking your head. I was not a fan of the spot. I was not a fan of the nails stuck in his back. Everybody's like, but Moxley's done crazy shit before too, in the CZW and the derpa. I don't care. This is national fucking TV. We don't need to do this bullshit. Go ahead, Daniel.
It was fucking pointless and dangerous.
Right. It was.
Anthony, you can say no to Moxley.
You can say no to people.
I know you don't like doing it, but you can do it.
You can tell people no. Like, no, John, you're not going to be a neo-Nazi. And
Here,
no, John.
I'm going to show you how you do it. Michael?
Yes.
No.
Okay. That's that simple.
And Tony, you're the boss. Tell him to say, hey, John, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Or if anything, that was a spot that should have been on the pay-per-view, not a fucking random bullshit-ass fucking Dynamite, you fucking punk bitch.
Danielson Rick form. The other thing I will say about this too is like Tony, you could tell Darby, hey Darby, we want you to win the title. So how about you don't go climb Mount Everest right now? If you want to do it after your story's done, sure. Now, no. How about you don't climb Mount Everest? Paul, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll tell. Look, Dave LaGreca was actually started off. He said that he had seen people online who were saying that it was grotesque, it was bloody, it was gross. It kind of grossed them out. It was indie-rific, as he put it, as he said it. It was unnecessary. It should have never been done. It was extremely unsafe, and it never should have been on TV. Now, that being said, play the clip, because then I need to get your reactions from the clip, because there was something else I need to touch on.
Okay, so here is Dave LaGreca talking about that spot on Busted Open.
I will say that
was bully.
Room for error with dangerousness on that particular move is higher than most, because you have spikes sticking straight up into the air, an abundance of them, and you're being suplexed where you're coming back straight down on them, and the spikes have the potential to do what? Puncture and potentially hit what area of your body? Your spine. So the level of danger on that one is very high, but that's not what they were going for. That wasn't the planned after effect of the suplex on the spiked 2x4. It was supposed to be a suplex on the spiked 2x4, and then he rolls off, because we've seen that done before. Abyss has done it in TNA. There's been variations of that with a barbed wire baseball bat, yada, yada. It's nothing really new. Everybody's in an uproar because the spikes stuck in his back. Was it grotesque? Well, that depends on what your definition of grotesque is. Gory, blah, blah, blah. It's all, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If you were grossed out by it, then you were grossed out by it. Some people saw it, but, oh my God, that's awesome. I love it. As far as the spot is concerned, I have said from day one on this show, I don't care what you do. You can do a 450 acai moonsault to the floor, through glass, and into a pool of acid, as long as it makes sense. Don't do it just for the sake of doing it.
Okay, so with that being said, I will go now over really briefly because I found it. Nick Nemeth and Dave LaGreca talking about it, and here is the Dave LaGreca side that Paul mentioned.
John Moxley is not going to.
That was the other one.
Does not want to do.
Right.
John Moxley was fine with doing that, and I don't understand wrestling fans now and that are all of a sudden like throwing their arms in the air and their hands in the air saying like, this is too much, this is too violent, this is too bloody. Like, if you don't like it, don't watch. Nobody's forcing you to watch this. AEW is a completely different product. And listen, if you think it's disgusting and it's not your thing, then guess what? You have a choice. You can turn it off. You don't have to watch it. But you know what? I have no problem with my pro wrestling being violent. I have no problem with my pro wrestling being bloody. And I just don't understand why now everybody's like, oh my God, Tony Khan. Oh my God. The sponsors are that's Tony Khan and AEW's problem. Why is all of a sudden the fan worried about what Warner Brothers think or what the sponsors are going to think? Come on, give me a break. So you don't like it? You don't like it? Wrestling police? Then fucking turn it off and don't watch. But don't make that, like, now all of a sudden people complain when AEW brings in former WWE wrestlers and they call it quote unquote WWE light. But now they want the product to be just like the WWE.
Right.
Like, yeah, I think there's people that just want to complain for the sake of complaining.
So I'll go on this one first.
Sounds like DC all the time.
Yeah. No. We love you, Dan. But no, that's the thing too, is I look at it like this. Like he mentioned, Bully did, about like the TNA stuff, but I have watched Abyss versus Judas Macias, the Barbed Wire Massacre, Abyss and Sabu, the first one, the Abyss Sabu no disqualification, any Abyss match that was in TNA where he was like either barbed wire in his fucking board.
Forget TNA. Let's go back to ECW. Look at all the matches that he used to have where he would use a table, use freaking chairs, jump up on the chair, fly out of the freaking ring, up onto somebody, it was always a spot with him. So nothing new, what we would see from Sabu or, even Abyss, who, the Monsters Ball matches that they used to have in TNA. Look at as extreme as they were. Bloodied, freaking battered, freaking Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Abyss himself, Jeff Hardy,
Taylor Wilde,
yeah, all of them. I mean, we're all freaking in the parameters of grotesque because of everything that they did. Now, I do have to share one little bit of story because my wife pointed this out to me.
Okay.
So she has a doctor that she works with. His name's David. Him and his wife were that night, Wednesday night, were actually just kind of going through channels, and they stopped on Dynamite. And for some apparent reason, it intrigued them, so they continued to watch. Then all of a sudden, the spike happened. The drop onto the spiked freaking nail, freaking 2x4. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
And they landed on it, and they were like, "Did you see what happened? Did you see this? Did you see that?" And my wife, when she told me, she goes, "So what happened?" And I just told her, I said, "Well, I go, he was actually supposed to just like hit it and roll off of it." I go, which didn't exactly happen. I go, he literally landed on top of it. I go, that's why it's stuck in his back. So shout out to David and Marin. You know, you guys are freaking rock stars for actually sitting through and watching Dynamite.
Yep. Shout out to David and Marin for watching that. Like, I'll be honest, folks, besides what we mentioned with the main event and the ridiculousness, and that whole show was just this was the talk of that program. So Daniel, that program gave us that moment. Not a good one, but what were your thoughts on this and what Bully and Dave LaGreca had to say?
I mean, they weren't wrong. I mean, I just remember watching the whole bullshit and just thinking, why are they doing this? Like,
that.
Not only that, why wasn't this on the pay-per-view?
Exactly. And also the point, too, is like this feud did not need to go this huge. Like, they only had this one match and then this match.
It didn't need to happen at all.
I agree. But
yeah, but something else that both Dave and Bully had pointed out was, go back to the pay-per-view. You had already had the Hollywood ending match, you know, for with Mariah and Tony Storm. You had the cage match with
Ospreay and Fletcher.
With Ospreay and
guys, can you give me a second? I just gotta grab a drink.
So we had that for that match, and they said that, you know, maybe they at that point in time they just didn't want to fill up the match or fill up the pay-per-view with so many stipulation matches. You know, so they had what they had, and they just moved this one to not being, which should have been the main event of Dynamite, rather than what we got with Tony Storm and Megan Bayne and what happened at the end with against Statlander, or Megan Bayne and Statlander, you know, and we got all that. So what sucks is that the main event that was the main event at Revolution should have not been that. It should have been the Hollywood ending. And then, of course, we get some sort of women's match at the end of freaking Dynamite, which, again, I'm not booking it, but still made no sense to me.
And then you get on top of it, they open the show with the Fatal 4-Way with Orange Cassidy, Speedball Mike Bailey, Mark Davis, and Ricochet. And Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey get the double pin. And now it is a triple threat match, so everybody can cream their jeans. Kenny Omega, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Ricochet for the International Championship. Will the match be good? Sure. I think they're going to go nuts. But, all right. It's just so people can just cream their jeans over the high spots.
Yeah, but I think I have to, before you start the other video that I sent on Messenger, I just had to clarify something that, you know, the one thing that Bully and Dave kind of agreed on as far as like what happened with that particular match between Moxley and Cope.
Cope?
No. Nope to Cope.
Nope to Cope.
It was a typical hardcore match prior to that spot. Now, mind you, we're here kind of just putting all this into one perspective, or that one perspective is that we are looking at this one spot as the reason why this match was so horrible. But it was just a typical hardcore match, and oddly enough is that it was a street fight that started in the street, ended up in the ring, and like I mentioned, he wasn't necessarily supposed to hit the damn thing as the way he did. It just happened to be he landed that way. And when you play the video, Bully's going to tell you the exact same thing.
Alrighty, so here is the other side of the thing with
Sup, DC.
So what's up, Dan? Now I do have to ask as well. I did bring it up.
Had to switch the hookers out.
So I had to bring this up to Paul, Dan. The other thing that came out of Dynamite, the takeaway. What were your thoughts on Speedball Mike Bailey and Ricochet, the double pin, and now it's a triple threat for the international title with Kenny Omega, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Ricochet?
Aha!
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I think that's the thing we can say, and it's not going to be a bad match, but it's just like, okay, You know he's winning, so we can get him and Okada and all that. Good.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, is that we look at AEW, and the worst thing about AEW has nothing to do with the wrestling itself.
It's the
it's the stories that we don't get. It's not enough stories or longevity of stories that we don't get.
I mean, we know now that the main event's going to be Moxley and Swerve because of Moxley winning. But if Swerve doesn't win it, like as a repeat from last year, it's just, and they continue with Moxley, it's just going to get worse and worse.
It all depends on what they want in Texas.
True.
And I think another thing that Dave LaGreca had said was that he would much rather get the title off of Moxley. I think he wanted it to be way before Revolution, and then he wanted Dustin Rhodes to have a chance because it's Texas.
Yeah.
You could have something great going on in Texas. He probably wished it would have been MJF facing Dustin Rhodes in Texas, but
no, MJF.
I don't want it to be Moxley. I really don't want it to be Moxley. I would much rather it be Swerve versus somebody else, but
I mean, Will Ospreay, if he wins the Owen Hart tournament, if they want to do that route, I mean, I don't know. But I mean, you also have the other side of the coin where it's like, is MJF going to join the Hurt Syndicate? We hurt people. And I'm just like, all right. And I hate to even say that. It's just like this product right now is cold as ice. And shout out to Papa Lark. Happy birthday, Dad. I love you. This is what he said. Even though we mentioned it many a times, AEW is not even cold. It's not even that. It's a freaking glacier. And he's right. And he's right, because what they're giving us right now, you and we are all very blasé about it. And again, it's not hate towards AEW, but we've noticed the cosmic shift of what we had from 2019, and we say it every time, to where we are now. Because I'm sorry, Tony Storm and Megan Bayne, the three-way for the international title, John Moxley and Swerve.
Oh, you're a big bitch.
God, that was great though. Tony Storm with the God, you're a big bitch was amazing. And also the fact that now we're getting what we're getting now. And I mean, whatever, this pay-per-view Dynasty does not make me want to drop 50 bones for this show. Oh, and also the fact, and I gotta say it, friggin' Mercedes Moné beats Billy Starks. And if we get Mercedes Moné and Athena, please, for the love of God, have Athena win, but I don't think they're gonna have her win. That's the other issue.
As you know, the bigger they are, the harder they come.
Oh, hey, thank you. I like your style. Oh,
that's right.
All right now. But
I've been saying for a while now they are gonna have her win the women. That she's gonna have every fucking title they've got. Tony's gonna create another women's title. Here you go, Mercedes. You have this one too, and this one. I love you. Please stay.
Please stay. So I could see her being the Ultimo Dragon of AEW. Just give her the 9 belts. Just give her the 9 belts. Oh my goodness! And
that only works if they bring in Sonny Ono.
Oh Jesus, he's going the Sonny Ono route. Okay, and the route that we're gonna go is more on Copen Mox and the Spike before we get off the AEW train. Here we go.
Like people are complaining, like, well, that should have been saved for a pay-per-view. I think actually
AEW is not in saving for a pay-per-view position right now. AEW has to shoot all of its bullets every single week because they are not doing good when it comes to eyes on their product on a weekly basis as far as Dynamite is concerned. However, if you're going to talk about the decline, you have to talk about the incline. And the incline has to start somewhere. And over the past 5 weeks, Dynamite's rating has increased slowly but surely by 10, 15, 20,000 every single week. So last week, they did, listen, is it a great number? Absolutely not. But it's a better number than where they were at 5 weeks ago. And they're showing improvement on either bringing their fans back to the product or maybe bringing a couple of new eyes to the product. Thus, that's why you have to do that particular. Listen, yes, they're in Omaha in front of 2,500 people in a blizzard. Is that the most opportune time to do a suplex on a barbed wire, on a spike-filled, board, whatever? No, probably not. Wrestling, traditional wrestling psychology and whatever says you save that for the big show. AEW is not in a position to save anything for a big show. They have to shoot all of their bullets every single week. That's why it was done. They're not catering to the 2,500 in attendance. They're catering to the people watching at home and the people watching on social media. This is why if they advertise something like this again, people might say, oh shit, remember when they did that gory spot with the spikes? Maybe we're going to see it again. And maybe somebody will tune in to see it.
And you're right. And like, this isn't even including, and I don't know how many people watch on Max, but you're right. They're now on Max. So you know that there has to be some amount of people watching on Max, and their show on cable has increased, being this past Wednesday being the biggest one for them in quite some time. So they do have new viewers tuning into the product. And who knows, after this controversy, maybe there's more people watching next Wednesday because they're on the tip of everybody's tongue. Like,
amen to that. Very, very true. And I've always said Tony's premature ejaculation is everything has to be done in one night or in a few weeks. And that's the thing. It's like we mentioned, his stories, it's just, and also like Bully said, doing a friggin' bump like this in the friggin' blizzard in Omaha, Nebraska, it doesn't have that same special feel like it would be on a pay-per-view.
He asked Tommy if he would ever ask him to drop him on a spike 2x4, and Tommy said, nope. Tommy equivocally said, nope.
Nope. So let's get to the Tommy Dreamer clip, because first of all, we've heard from LaGreca and Nemeth, we've heard from Bully and Dave. Now let's get not that Dave, the good Dave. So let's get to all right, let's get to Tommy Dreamer.
Jon Moxley took that suplex on that thing. And now you see when he sat up and his cell was amazing. And here comes Wheeler Yuta, knocks down Cope, goes. And when he tried taking it out, and when you're twisting it and you saw his skin move, I'm not a queasy person at all. And I was just like, whoop, yep, that's real. And I was like, is he going to go get a doctor? So I saw Mox talking to him. Because anything at that moment, the best part of it is he stayed calm. And for that moment, I was just like, he has to tell, like, or he needs communication. Are they going to call him the doctor? That twist of the skin was straight up gory. When Jon Moxley.
Okay, let's talk about one thing. Is that one thing that Bully Ray had said was that, you know, you don't understand on how things could have gone wrong. Yeah, he had it in his back. Yeah, it was already there. But the fact that Wheeler, you know, twisted it and tried to pull it out, you know, wasn't exactly the best idea, because you don't know if you're going to puncture something. You don't know if you're going to hit an artery. You don't know if you're going to hit. I mean, granted, specifically what you're going to hit is his spine, because that's where he hit it. That's exactly where it's lodged into. So you don't know if it's hitting any major nerves in his back. You know, granted, you know, after the fact, yes, he walked away. You know, he was bandaged up. You know, he's perfectly fine. You know, he's healing, whatever. But still, in that moment, I understand Wheeler's idea and thought process was just, I got to pull this shit out. This thing's got to come out of him. But he's okay. He's recovering. Probably got a whole lot of tetanus shots, but
and he took that powerbomb through the table like a champ. And I mean, the match went on, but still, it's just, this has been such a topic of the week. And I mean, AEW again, for something that they could do, it's always this shit that they think makes them stand out, but also makes people go click and not make people want to do it because he's doing it for the sickos.
I'll tell you what it is.
All right.
And it's really simple, and we're all fucking overthinking it. He's not booking for the casual viewer. He's not even viewing for the fucking sickos. He is booking for himself.
Yep.
He's booking and would we do the same thing? Maybe to an extent, we'd book the shit that we like.
Yeah, but you also have to think of it to a business mindset.
Yeah, I'm saying that. I'm just saying, like, we would do it to an extent, but also not like this.
No. I'm not having anybody land on a friggin' barbed wire with nails. No. You know,
Like I would have Rhea Ripley, kick John Cena in the junk with the steel-toed boot. I think that'd be funny.
So would I.
Yeah, me too. Oh my goodness! But yes,
I would have Rhea Ripley, cut a promo using nothing but Australian slang.
That would be perfect.
That'd be perfect too.
That would be funny.
Oh my goodness! Now,
what was even funnier was her slapping the shit out of freaking Buddy Murphy.
Ow!
Ow! Yes, that clip.
And he was sunburnt.
Yeah, that clip will be in here. Boom! Right in this portion of the show. If you've not seen Rhea Ripley chop the living, ever-loving crap out of her boo, Buddy Murphy, you son of a gun. That hurt. That hurt my soul watching that.
Even if you weren't sunburned, that would fucking hurt.
We get to level 10 hype train. I let her chop me live on stream.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
He's gone quiet, guys. He's scared. Alright, get up.
Oh, no. No! Ah! Oh, no, dude. Dude.
Barry,
Dude. Wait. Oh.
You ready?
No.
Please don't hit your face.
Fucking hit my face! You're not overhanding me.
Yes!
No!
Yes!
No!
Yes!
Babe, fuck you! No, no, no.
Don't move.
No.
Don't.
Ah! Fuck! Oh! Ah! Fuck. I'm sunburned, woman. Fuck.
There's so much meat to hit.
Oh my god.
Daddy's stupid.
You didn't hold back a second. Look at my hair.
Is there...
Like my whole chest is red.
Yeah. Oh. But you gotta love you some, mommy, and
she did it on purpose. Like you can tell, like she was
They said they get to level 10, and all of a sudden she's gonna spike him right in the freaking chest. And what did she do? She spiked she slapped the shit out of him right in his chest.
That's
that poor man.
That poor man, but also that lucky man with who he has with that boo of his. Rhea Ripley, we love you. Mommy, you know we all love you here at the weekly review. So, my goodness gracious. Shout out to Mommy. It's all love.
Hey, Aleister Black, he too.
That too, yes, with Zelina Vega. All right, I feel you. Okay, all right now. So, let's get into someone from people that we like to people that not so much. Bill Goldberg, Bret Hart's favorite person in the world.
Bill Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg was on Ariel Helwani this week, and we have two clips from Bill Goldberg. The first clip that we're going to play is Bill Goldberg believes that nothing came of the Gunther segment at Bad Blood because he's a WCW guy, and WWE still has some beef with him. So this is what Bill had to say.
And we presume, here are some of the images, Triple H, Paul Levesque is in the ring as well. We presume like we are building towards something. This is Pro Wrestling 101. Although nothing ever happened in the aftermath. Why?
Yeah, there's probably a reason for that. I'm a WCW guy, man. They want to accentuate the John Cena tour and all that kind of stuff. And if anything ever happens, I'll pop out of midair and do my thing and wipe my hands clean of it and leave, and they'll be done with me. So there's a lot of truth to that. But hey,
what do you mean? What do you mean? What are you trying to say here? You lost me there for a moment.
Come on, man. I'll always be a WCW guy.
Still, you still believe that?
Look at how they treated Sting.
You were there longer than Sting was. That was like a cup of coffee.
No, well, you mean a WWE?
Yeah.
Because I was talking to Booker T the other day, and if you don't get into the wrestling business, wanting to be a part of the pinnacle of the wrestling business, which is WrestleMania and pay-per-views as they used to be called.
Yep.
Then you're crazy, right? And so I had goals to attain at the WWE, but the reality is when we were going head to head, we were kicking their ass. They were kicking our ass. It was back and forth like a big heavyweight fight. And I'm a football player in Aintley, man, and they were the enemy, right? And I still believe at the bottom of my heart, at the end of the day, it's still kind of that way a little bit.
So before we play the second clip, let's analyze, dissect, and decipher this. Bill, no, you're in your mid-50s. You're going to get the match. It should just be a squash where Braun Breaker just absolutely mollywops you. Bill, it has nothing to do with you being a WCW guy. They're moving towards the future. This is not what Vince was booking you as the champ and booking Brock Lesnar all the goddamn time and all the legends coming back in the Saudi Arabia match where you almost killed the poor Undertaker. Like, Bill,
and
they don't.
Bray Wyatt, don't forget
Bray Wyatt. And it doesn't, Bill, I'm sorry, it's 2025. And Bill has had a great career from WCW, and he's had many memorable moments. He's been a part of all of our childhoods and our youth and whatnot. But, Bill, nobody cares. In 2025, they don't care. It has nothing to do with you being a WCW guy or this and that. They don't care. We don't care about you in 2025, Bill. We don't hate you, but we don't care about you. Daniel Crimmon's guy.
They say that WWE doesn't care about WCW guys.
Yeah.
Booker T,
who was the best that came out of the invasion, yes.
And to say Sting got fucking hurt.
He got hurt in the match with Seth Rollins. It wasn't like he stopped. He got hurt.
It isn't like they had Sting in catering for months on end.
No, it's just Bill
Dude,
is.
Just shut up.
Shut up, Bill. Paul, do you want to comment on
Shut
Bill?
the fuck up,
Bill. You want to comment on Bill?
And talk about being fucking bitter. Talk about that they had no plans for him after that moment with Gunther. And nothing else came of it. You know, nothing transpired from it. Was it from a WWE perspective? Probably. Was it from a Bill Goldberg perspective? Probably. We don't know. I mean, we don't know. I mean, if they already had in place, like, hey, look, we have Jey Uso, who is red hot, who's selling merchandise, who has fans all over the place doing what they're doing, you know, or has them yeeting out in the freaking crowd, you know. And I, as a fan, yeah, it probably would have been okay, you know, for him to have a match with Gunther, but for the championship, no. He was not going to come in. He was not just going to
watch him.
Just all of a sudden come in, be like with under Vince, to where Vince would be like, yeah, sure, come on in, you know, we'll give you a title shot because, you know, you earned it, you know, because they, you know, people who return earn title shots, you know, that quickly.
We'll get to that, but I'll add on to your point.
Look, he can go to AEW all he wants and go do whatever he wants to over there because Tony Khan will obviously pay him.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going to add on to your point. I know
with the double chunk
chocolate cookie. The thing is, too, to add on to Paul's point, when he beat Bray Wyatt at the Elimination Chamber, we were all pissed. And Bill has since said that, you know, he didn't want to win, but when he got there, he was told to win. But he could have fought to, like, not win. But anyway, that happened. But the thing, too, at the end of the day is, too, as well, like, he knew that the part-timer shouldn't come in and beat Bray Wyatt, but he went with what Vince wanted. And that's the thing. Like, when he came back, he beat Kevin Owens, and he's done a lot of the squash matches. I mean, he did put over Drew McIntyre at the Rumble in 2020, but I mean, other than that, and Bobby Lashley, of course, like that stuff was okay. And of course, the quick squash with Dolph Ziggler. But that's the last really we've seen of Bill besides this bad blood stuff. And we mentioned Vince McMahon because this takes us to the other clip that was pivotal from the Ariel Helwani show. So this man is Bill Goldberg speaks in his relationship with Vince McMahon. I was a Vince guy. He always treated me the way I wanted to be treated. And here's Bill talking about Vinnie Mac.
Do you ever think that we would live in a time where Vince McMahon was alive but not running WWE?
No, not at all. Never. I never would have imagined that. It must have been something pretty gnarly to get him out of that role.
Yes.
I'm not going to get into it by any stretch. It's all an opinion, and I don't give opinions. You base everything on fact, and then, you know, people are judged by facts, and you go on. But all I can say is Vince was always wonderful to me, other than not giving me my retirement match, but he couldn't because he wasn't part of the organization anymore. So up until then, I mean, you got your guys, you got your Vince guys, and you got your guys who weren't Vince guys. And I like to think that I was a Vince guy. And you treat people how you want to be treated. And, you know, he always treated me with respect, I believe. And so I tried to show him the same. And so if you're ever going to try to get some kind of bad news for me about Vince and that situation, I can't give it, man. I never thought there would be a day that I'd be alive or he'd be alive, and he wasn't leading the charge.
That wasn't.
One more, just because I'm on a roll with this. So this also angered me, this next one that we're going to put up here. So Bill Goldberg, he had said in the Ariel Helwani video that Vince had promised him another match because not too many people know this, but I took the Roman match with like a month prior notice and I had COVID. That's not the way to go out. I always, in the bottom of my heart, wanted to go out and present myself in a little bit more positively than I was able to. I mean, Paul and I spoke and we came to an agreement that in 2025 I'd had my retirement match, and he wants to jump back into the ring one more time. So let me cue up this video because this was another thing that really.
Okay. Before we start that, he said Paul promised him a match in 2025.
Yes.
He didn't say when in 2025.
No.
Does it have to be at WrestleMania? No.
No.
Does it? Can it be at SummerSlam? Probably. It'll probably be a hell of a lot better because this road up to here is already happening. Why are you going to try and stop this momentum from what you're doing here to have to say, oh, you know what? Let's pump the brakes. Because who does that? Oh, that's right. The guy he likes, fucking Vince.
Right. Vince does that. He's always.
That's the guy that likes to fucking pump the brakes and say, hey, you know what? I would just pivot this direction. You know what? We'll just go this way and not worry about it.
Yeah, he was the originator of the stop and start. And I mean, if you even look at
or
it,
he'd make it a triple threat match.
That is very true. What the stop and the other part I'll add to that is, can you imagine how pissed Roman must have been and why he also went out? Besides, you want to compromise this man's immune system to face a guy who's like has COVID? You know what I'm saying? That would piss me off.
That does kind of make sense because I remember watching the match with Roman and Goldberg when it did happen.
Yeah,
Roman seemed to be working a little stiff.
Yeah, the one that they had like a couple years later after this one was supposed to happen. Yeah. I mean, I would be pissed too if you got fucking COVID before this. I am not compromising my immune system. Jeez Louise. So here's the final clip from Bill, and then we'll move on to other stuff. Good God.
Hey, if it's not Bill announcing his retirement and that he sucks.
Yeah. All right, let's get into one final from Bill.
So I had goals to attain at the WWE, but the reality is when we were going head to head, we were kicking their ass. They were kicking our ass. It was back and forth like a big heavyweight fight. And I'm a football player in Aintley, man, and they were the enemy, right? And I still believe at the bottom of my heart, at the end of the day, it's still kind of that way a little bit.
So how did that all come about?
What?
You know, the whole thing with you and Gunther, they call you up, they say, we want to do this, we have a plan. It surely wasn't just like that one-off.
No, because I had expressed a number of times that I wanted another match after Roman.
Yep.
That Vince had promised me another match because not too many people know this, but I took the Roman match with like a month prior notice and I had COVID. And, you know, that's not the way to go out. It's surely not the way to go out, and surely not the way to go out in Saudi Arabia, where so many of my fans couldn't be there live to watch the finale, right? So I always, in the bottom of my heart, in my heart, wanted to go out and present myself a little bit more positively than I was able to. I'm the mild understatement guy, but yeah, you know, I mean, Paul and I spoke, and we came to an agreement that in 2025 I'd have my retirement match. Don't know when it is, don't know who it's against, but you know, they planted a little seed like they always do, and don't think that there may not be a swerve here and there. But I mean, it's professional wrestling. It is what it is. It's not what you see is what you get, and if anyone knows that, it's you.
He just fucking said what I just said. How is that not the exact same shit?
That's the exact same thing you just said. Like, Bill, you know this, Bill.
I just said it doesn't have to fucking be WrestleMania. Hell, I just said it could be down the line in SummerSlam. Good Lord. Again. But what he said was exactly right. What they did when between him and Goldberg or him and Gunther was that it planted a seed. So if we're going by this, it'll probably happen this year. It'll probably happen on his time. But at the same time, like, dude, you took the Roman match within a month. He had actually stated prior to that he wasn't even in shape. Like, he hadn't even gotten in any type of ring shape. But he went out there and still performed in the match, you know. And as he said, you know, it wasn't in front of his fans. He was over in Saudi Arabia. But hey, if they could do it again, yeah, I would like to see it I would like to see an in-ring shape Goldberg rather than a out of shape Hulk Hogan.
Yes. And if you remember, that match was only like 4 minutes in the Saudi Arabia match. That match was very, very short. But yeah.
That's probably why. Yeah. Because he wasn't going to go freaking 20 minutes with freaking Roman.
Oh, my goodness. But Bill, God damn it, Bill.
Shut up.
Bill.
That too.
So the other piece of shit that should shut the fuck up, because we have 2 more pieces of shit before we get to some more good stuff. Alberto El Patron is in the news. So Alberto El Patron has reportedly received a wrestling ban in Tijuana following an incident with a fan during a AAA show. Fans reportedly threw coins at Patron, which resulted in him jumping into the crowd to confront the fans. He then seemingly threw a chair towards the fans, which resulted in another chair being thrown. An elderly woman was hurt during the incident and taken to a local hospital. In response to this, the Tijuana Wrestling Commission took action and banned Patron from wrestling within Tijuana for 6 months.
This douchebag went out there and he tried to make it as if it wasn't his fault.
Right.
When he was out there and he was talking shit to the people and he was telling them shit, not like, hey, kayfabe shit, but no, he started talking shit to the people in Spanish. Like, you can't go out there and you're in Mexico, dude. You can't do that and not think that they're not going to do something back.
Right.
And then why are you going out into the freaking audience to try and confront them to make it even fucking worse?
And I think even people
still... You already knew that.
Thank you. But that's the thing, too. It's like people still shaking their head at Conan because Conan is just like, you know, well, that stuff, politics doesn't work here in Mexico and derp. I'm still going to book them. But Conan, this is what you get. When you
but AAA doesn't always work in Tijuana. So,
yeah, true.
You know, they do some of their shows outside of Tijuana. So the fact that he's still going to be able to wrestle, but when they actually do go to Tijuana, he won't be able to be there within the next 180 days.
True. Go ahead, Dan.
Can we just agree that belt is fucking uglier than shit?
Much like the one for New Japan. That one looks like shit too.
They got
if they can go back to the old one, I'd be freaking perfectly happy.
Oh yeah. Ugly ass belts and just crappiness. Now, speaking of something I have to say crappiness besides Alberto El Patron, Paul and I laughed at this, and Dan, we're going to get your thoughts on this too. So,
by the way, if you want to hear more talk about pro wrestling belts, check out Uncaged, where we discussed this very same subject last season.
Hell to the yes. So the links will be in the description. Nice cheap plug, Dan. I like your style. Yes.
Right here on the internet.
Yeah. So, Dan, we have to get your thoughts on this. So, Hologram and Commander are now officially a team in AEW. And what are their names? The Lucha Stars. You stay classy, Tony Khan.
Tell me you're being petty without telling me you're being petty. I'll go first.
Well, hold on. There's a comment from Mr. Palmerhouse. Dear Tony, wishing Timu called and they're laughing their asses off. And it's a photo of Rick Bogner, God rest his soul, as the fake Razor and Glenn Jacobs Kane as the fake Diesel. Absolutely.
You're welcome. You're welcome for that response.
What a fucking uncreative name. Timu version of that. Zero fucking creativity. Holomander. The Lucha Cousins. That name fucking sucks ass. I know all wrestling at this point is derivative.
We could just sit here and run through the comments because that shit was hilarious.
Tony Schiavone. Not the Lucha Brothers. Let's get that straight. Stars. Lucha Stars. God. Tony? Really, bro? Really?
Shut the fuck up.
Someone else. We'll get to this one next. So there wouldn't be a show if it wasn't talking about Mercedes or Swerve Strickland. And Swerve Strickland has two. He swerves when he drives, but let's get into this one. So Swerve Strickland says that AEW is increasing the value of professional wrestlers in this industry. Sasha Banks had value. Mercedes has more value now because of All Elite Wrestling. Cody had more value because of what AEW was able to do. Same with Punk. Same with Moxley coming to AEW. Ricky Starks to Saints. Mercedes was the one that did big for the women. Now it makes Becky Lynch look like a little, maybe. It makes New Day go, maybe. Charlotte Flair, I wonder, maybe. What?
Dude, shut up.
And that it wasn't done because then it led to this
Be
one.
a corporate show for me and I'll make you my world champion.
I swear when I drive, I'll pay you. So here's the other one from Swerve. So he shared his takes on AEW versus WWE and why fans don't have to pick sides. And he said, and I quote, "It's almost like you get the big box offices movies and all that stuff over there. But over there, you don't get green screen. You don't get wires. Can you friggin' act? That's what AEW is. You have to act in order to perform in our films. We're A24. The performances and acting have to be pristine. You can now enjoy both WWE and AEW, and both are successful. That's the beauty of it." Yeah. The friggin' response.
I understand you want to be a company guy. I understand, but
I do too.
When you say things like that, yeah, well, it's whatever.
I understand that they love this.
I was still not.
They really do, and we'll play this next. I really do, but the problem is you can't say this with how this company is running and how people are dissipating away from this company, and because people are tired of this Death Rider storyline. There's no continuity. There's constant stop and starts. There's shit that doesn't make any sense. The way that they're developing these people suck. People don't want to see friggin' a lot of what you're producing on your television. Is there some bright spots? Sure, like a Tony Storm, like we mentioned earlier. But the problem is there's nothing of this that's story and cinema. It's just bullshit, but you're sticking up for this company just because this is the company that's making you more than you did in WWE. He was great in WWE as far as hit row goes and on NXT, but once they got to the main roster, kind of laid an egg. But then again, this was Vince McMahon's booking. But
because he wasn't swerving when he drove.
That is true. But the thing too is just I get it, but with a product that you're having now, I can't see it, if that makes sense. I can't see it just because of what they're producing and they're representing. So
Was it being presented by John Cena?
Yeah.
Because I can't see it.
Yeah. So the other thing with the AEW, before we get to the Raws and all that, and Vince Russo saying stupid shit, bro. So let's go to this next one. So this is, I'm guessing this is on the AEW Unrestricted podcast. So Aubrey Edwards, Magma, said this about steel cage matches.
I was still not expecting a Spanish fly off the top of the cage. And that is a testament to both of those guys as wrestlers that, as a fan watching wrestling, as a hardcore wrestling fan watching this, the whole point of a steel cage is someone's going to jump off of it.
Yeah. I mean, steel cage can be used to your advantage, and steel cage can have stories to it, but not everybody has to dive off the cage every single time. I mean, you can have escape the cage, pinfall in the cage. Not everybody has to dive off the cage.
Last
there's
man standing in the cage.
Last man standing in the cage. Like, you could have stuff like that's not. Oh God. So, Dan, you want to take it?
Larkin in the cage.
Hey, so Dan, do you want to take it from here, man? About Aubrey Edwards.
Tell me you're a company shill without telling me you're a company shill.
Amen to that point. And Paul, do you want to add on Aubrey Edwards' point about steel cage matches?
You know what? I love her to death, and I think she's fucking awesome, and I think she fucking rocks, but here comes the but.
But?
And it's a big one.
What
she said.
Look, that's what she said. Look, at the same time, look, she may not have expected that was going to happen. I mean, granted, there are a lot of freaking referees that go in there and be like, okay, what's going on? Then there are referees like in WWE who know what's going to happen, but they have to look as, oh, whoa, hey, yo, whoa. Yeah, she may not have known that they were going to actually do it. Or they might have said, okay, well, we're going to do it from a different area, or whatever, but it happened from the top of the cage, and the fact that it happened, maybe she was just like, whoa, surprised. But I don't know. I'm not Aubrey.
Yeah, I mean, The Spanish Fly spot could have been way worse, but thankfully they're okay. I mean, we've seen Jeff Hardy do Whisper in the Winds off the top of the cage. We've seen Jimmy Superfly snuck it down a splash. Rikishi did the splash. And Mick Foley coming off with the elbow. But yeah, it leads to those moments. But yeah, it was what it was. We saw so much stuff in that Ospreay-Fletcher match, which was good, but they did a lot more than what we normally get. But, I mean, it makes sense just to end the feud, but it is what it is.
We had 2 cage matches that were fun.
Yes.
Why do people have to be such fucking party poopers?
Because that's how people are going to party and people are going to poop. Hence, party poopers. So with that being said, we will move on.
That's your friend.
Hey, man. Hey,
that's your co-host.
Hey,
God damn it.
God damn it. I'm sorry. We're all friends. Stop it. Anyway.
I don't know. I'm revoking my friendship card right about now for that one.
Oh, hold on. We'll talk about more friends. So the news came of the week. Sean Waltman is working with the WWE again.
Yay.
WWE Hall of Famer Sean Waltman is now contributing to the company's future by analyzing video footage of developmental talent and providing constructive feedback on their performance, offering guidance on areas for improvement and highlighting their strengths. The duration of Waltman's involvement in this advisory role is currently unknown. Now, if there's anybody to help with people and their friggin' matches and everything from that, like we have Triple H and Sean Waltman is perfect from his days as the Lightning Kid, the 1, 2, 3 Kid, 6-Pac, X-Pac. The man is a vast worth of knowledge. He's going to do it.
Pornhub, X videos, and all those other things that he's been had an X with.
Yeah, well, we try to forget about that. But, I mean.
Paul, we do not mention that video.
No.
I'm sorry. We do not mention that video because God rest her soul. She's in it.
Yeah. Well, not only that, we just don't know.
Yeah.
No.
We don't talk about the little things in videos.
Oh, God. So
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you. So Sean Waltman coming back. I mean, I'm happy to see it. I think he deserves the rightful role that he's getting here. Absolutely.
I think he deserves to be somewhere where at least he'll be appreciated with the things that he does. He's a nice guy, man. I mean, and Denise Salcedo worked with him prior to her going over to Busted Open, in her early years, she worked with him on his podcast. So, shout out to Denise, my girl. Love you, girl.
We love you, Denise. And I will say this, Daniel.
Hi, Denise.
Hi, Denise. Do you want to comment on Sean Waltman coming back?
Don't mind DC. He a little asleep over there. He's taking a siesta.
He's staying a siesta, yeah. But Dan, you want to comment about Sean Waltman in the academic?
For a number of years, Sean Waltman, he has his struggles. He struggled. I know with the drink and other substance abuse. And it's so nice to see him getting a second lease on things.
Uh-huh.
He's in a good space, and he's not somebody that's trying to rehash his glory days. He knows he's done.
Oh, yeah.
But you got somebody here that has wrestled for almost 30 years plus at this point.
Yep.
And actually, if he's not working for AEW, I don't care.
But yes, no.
But in all honesty, I think it's great. I really do. I'm happy for him. I think I can only see this being a good thing.
I'm right with you guys. Like, more of the veterans out there giving the vast knowledge and helping them. That's what professional wrestling is all about. And
not people like Kane.
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, no. Big middle finger right here to you, Glenn.
Sorry, Glenn.
Sorry. Well, fuck you, Glenn. So we'll move on from the charitable wrestling match to Jesus Christ, friggin' Tim Walls and Kane. No, stop it. Just stop it. I'm not even gonna get into it just because it's so ridiculous. But that happened, and yeah, Kane, shut the fuck up. We will move on. Well, that's Xbox former tag team partners. So so on behalf of the weekly review, Glenn Jacobs, suck it. So that fuck off. We will move on. We will move on to the next point of this show. Oh my goodness, baby. We're gonna get into the John Cena heel turn, folks. So what we're gonna do is
I didn't see it.
Whoa, wait a minute. You're telling me that John Cena turned heel?
Dude, I know. He cut this promo on Raw.
When did that ever happen? Man, I must have missed it. I just saw a
That
shirt
never
and a hat
happened.
in the ring.
Oh boy. So as we get into the Raw, Vince Russo. God, Vinny Roo, bro, here's what we're gonna do. So here's what we're gonna do. Vince Russo has lashed out at Michael Cole for going on an all-out rant against John Cena live on WWE Raw last night. On Legion of Raw, his show that he's on, Russo said, and I quote, Michael Cole, shut the fuck up, bro. You're supposed to be an announcer. Now you're calling John Cena an irrational prick. Okay, so now the announcers are going to start calling the wrestlers' names. Jim Ross, Triple H,
Good old JR.
Son of
a bitch. Calling the Undertaker Booger Ray.
My God, you son of a bitch! How could you? How could you? That's a woman with a damn sledgehammer. You just hit that woman.
So cold. So
cold. So cold.
Wow. For God is my witness, he's broken that. Like
So
JR
cold,
yelled,
you son of a bitch! You just turned heel.
Or
you went to the dark side or some shit like that.
Or friggin' Eric Bischoff is a no good son of a bitch in 2003. Like,
Eric
come on.
Bischoff is a no good son of a bitch.
There you go. That's the thing too. It's just now JR has done that for over 20 plus years, and he'll still do it at times.
And you know what? Shout out to Michael Cole, for doing his best fucking JR impression by giving John Cena shit, And Vince Russo, you can go fuck yourself.
I'll say it. Between Michael Cole and Vince Russo, of the two, who's the one that's undefeated at WrestleMania?
Michael Cole. God, you gotta bring that up. Oh man, hey, but Vince
Undertaker.
Russo.
Oh wait, no, he lost.
Who's the one who
shouldn't have, but he
is
lost.
such an egotistical prick that he booked himself to be the world heavyweight champion? Oh, that's right.
That was Vinny Roo. Oh boy. So from Vinny Roo, we now get into the heel turn, the 25-minute promo from John Cena on Raw. I've seen people crap on it because they think it doesn't make any sense. I've seen people like us who enjoyed it, and John Cena. You weren't a fan of it, Dan?
I didn't hate it, but
okay.
I was left wanting more. Like it just to me, it was just sort of like it. Like I said, it wasn't bad. It felt kind of flat.
I mean, he comes out, he doesn't run to the ring. He walks, he puts the last time is now done. He gets in the ring. People are chanting F you, Cena, let's go, Cena sucks. I thought the passion that he gave, I mean, a lot of the points he made sense, being bullied and in the toxic relationship. I think it layered out what we got. And then Cody saying, I don't want this John Cena, this whiny bitch, like he called The Rock last year. I enjoyed it, and I think for what they did, I'm looking forward to what they do next week. But for what we got, I think John put his heart and soul to it. It showed a man who was frustrated. So everything that they put into from that part, I enjoyed it. So, Paul, what did you think?
Why did he have to go in on that little kid?
Oh, that poor kid was...
Man, you left that kid crying, John. God damn you. No, this is what I thought. I thought he hit on every point of what immature wrestling fans like to do on social media, and that's exactly what he did. Every bit of what he said was pretty much going after any IWC who was against him turning heel. Why? Because he needed to keep up that heel persona. He said, I'm not going to change my clothes. You dress like me. I don't dress like you. I'm not changing what I wear to the ring. I'm not changing my music. Why? Because that's me on that damn song. That's my voice on there, not yours. So I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to change who I am for you. Pretty much saying, y'all can go fuck yourselves.
Pretty much.
And I fucking loved it.
Me too.
I loved every minute of it because what he did is that he basically told a big fuck you to a lot of those people who doubted him for all this fucking time. That's exactly what he did. Man, where the hell did our guy go? Oh, all right. I will continue to host this show because apparently Michael doesn't want to fucking be here anymore. So
I'm here.
Michael. Oh, hey Michael, how you doing, man? You know what? Me and DC were just not talking shit about you.
Sorry.
We were
Yes.
getting
No
ready
worries,
to
man. No worries.
debut the Paul and Dan
I
show.
got the hosting duties for today. You know what, DC? What did you think about this? Everything, man.
Like I said, I thought the promo was fun. Yeah, could have been a little bit more. Like I don't think it was as biting as I hoped it was.
And I think that's what he was kind of going for. I think he wasn't trying to change so much of. I understand how everybody wanted him to come out. Everybody wanted new gear. Everybody wanted a new song. We were hoping Bad Man would fucking be playing as soon as he comes walking out, which is again still his voice.
Still his voice.
It's still his voice on the song. Probably would have been a hell of a lot better. And he said he had recorded another song with telling Chris Van Vliet, yeah, he had already recorded another song. He had already had gear in place, but I think him kind of keeping to what he's been doing allowed him to just vent a lot of those fucking people and go after a lot of those people that were talking shit.
I had the idea. I would have had him come out to no music.
That's what Bully Ray said. He said he should have just came out to nothing. Black Lights just came out with his gear, as in like a black gear. But still with like The Last Time Is Now, you know, all the print on it and everything.
Kind of like NXT.
Just come out like in black gear, no music, just a spotlight on him, taking him all the way to the ring. That would have been perfect too. But we got what we got.
I mean,
and I thought it was great. I just thought more or less the promo was great. I thought I thought he hit on a lot of points, and the fact that he went after that kid, you know what? That was the hard part.
Yeah.
I have to admit that was the hard part, but shout out to that kid. I hope John, you know, kind of wrote him something, said, you know, I apologize. You know, this is really kayfabe.
Unless it was a plant.
True, yeah.
But that could have been another one. I didn't even think about that. That probably could have been a plant, and the kid's probably just like, oh my God.
That poor kid's like, what did I do?
And that kid told him, I love you.
I love you, John. And then he's like, what?
He goes, you know what? I'm in a toxic relationship. And that kid right there, he's just like,
I'm breaking up with each and every
you pointed at me and I was on camera. I bet you anything that kid went to school the next day and he was like, I was on TV.
I mean, that's like Brock Lesnar looking at Heath Slater and saying, I don't give a shit about your kids.
Exactly. I mean, I look at the Cody and John Cena thing and I'll compare it to what we saw tonight. Like, Charlotte absolutely mollywopped just Tiffany Stratton from the verbal exchange that we got tonight on SmackDown. What did you guys think of Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton on the other side of things? Because there was a little face-to-face there with them tonight. You
could tell how green she is. You could tell how she's not as great as Charlotte on the mic. She isn't. Is she going to get better? Yeah, eventually she'll get better. And as the time goes along and she gets more and more of these promos back and forth with a lot more experience behind them, yeah, she'll be a hell of a lot better. But you could tell the different levels. You could tell, you know, expert level and novice. It was there. In front of us.
I mean, they added more to WrestleMania with Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, which I'm looking forward to because Randy's reverting back to 2009 Randy. I mean, the show tonight was not bad. I got to say, for 3 hours, it's long. Yeah, yes, it is. But I think it dragged. It fucking dragged. The segment tonight with Roman Paul and Roman Punk, and Seth Rollins. I enjoyed it. It turned into a big brawl. They mentioned the favor. Did you guys enjoy the brawl now that we're getting that three-way coming up?
And can we acknowledge we got the first teases of Jacob Fatu and Solo?
That was great too. I mean, Jacob Fatu with that backstage encounter with Solo, like I'm looking forward to that. LA Knight and Braun, but I got to say Roman.
Yeah,
Roman, Punk, and what we got with Seth Rollins. I thought it was good. Like the brawl was great. It was a great way to end the show, and they went right into it. But tonight's SmackDown, much like Paul said, just to add on to your point, dude, was like it dragged. I mean, we got to see more of the Rey Fenix vignette.
Because you know what? Denise always says the same thing. The one thing about it being 2 hours, you're able to just kind of take it all in and just be like, hey, look, it was a good show. You know, you can compress, what you need to in those 2 hours, and eventually, even if it was 2.5 hours, if it was a half hour shorter than what it was, you could do the same thing you do on Netflix. What you get on Netflix would be perfectly fine. That type of wrestling, that type of whole thing, that whole goddamn production that you get on Raw on Netflix, it's a hell of a lot better than what you get on SmackDown. Not because of the the extra hour. It's just that it felt like it was too many segments that were unnecessary.
I mean, it was great to see the vignettes for Rey Fenix and Malachi Black again.
Those were fine.
Did you like Naomi coming out in the caution tape and absolutely mollywop after Jade Cargill took her first loss to Liv Morgan? My God, Naomi.
And because you need those stories, and you need them to be able to make sense. Again, back to, I'm glad that they did it. I didn't mind Piper and Zelina Vega. It was an okay match. I mean, you're not necessarily putting over Zelina the way you should. I think she should have picked up the victory rather than Piper picking it up, because it would have helped further the fact that Zelina is coming after Chelsea. You need that mid-card. You need that mid-card win. You need to be able to set up something. Or is it somebody else that's going to come after Chelsea?
I mean, did we also notice Def Rebel strikes again? Zealand Vegas got a new theme. Street Profits got a new theme. Yeah.
No. Street Profits had that theme when they were with the Pride with.
I totally forgot about that. Okay,
yeah, they had that theme. That's shout out to Denise, who actually pointed. No, it wasn't Denise. It was her co-host on Fridays, Robin. He pointed it out, telling her the exact same thing because she thought it was a new theme.
Okay.
And he pointed out they had that theme when they were in the Pride with Bobby Lashley.
Yeah. But, I mean, with the SmackDown this week we got, I mean, I hate to say it, but yeah, like these SmackDowns drag. Go back and watch the main event segment that leads to WrestleMania. The WrestleMania season is coming to fruition. We have less than 29 days left before we get to WrestleMania, something like that. Yeah, we're getting there, man. But then we have another stop in a couple weeks as we're going to be talking about AEW Dynasty. Yay.
I'll pay you.
So that's pretty much what we got this week in wrestling. But I have to mention NXT for a second because we covered the general consensus and basis. Stephanie Vaquer is going to defend both of those titles next week. Jada Parker's going for the women's, and then the North American with Fallon Henley. I definitely see Fallon Henley winning back the title, and Stephanie Vaquer is just going to have the one title. What do you guys think?
I think somebody's going to interfere in order for Fallon Henley to get that title back.
Yeah, I could see fatal
influence. Because I understand you don't want her to just vacate the title, but you need her to have. You need to have it like maybe Jada causes it to her. Maybe Jada before they even get to their match, Jada is the one that costs her the match. I don't know. I just got to see what happens, and by the time we get to Stand and Deliver in Vegas, end up with just her being the NXT Women's Champion.
That is so perfectly said.
Maybe it'll be Santina Marella. Maybe she'll.
You and that damn Santina Marella.
No,
you know what I was disappointed at? The fact that they're in Bologna and
we didn't get an Ariana Grace.
We didn't get an Ariana Grace freaking come out. We didn't even get Santino to come out. That would have been freaking so perfect.
I do have to say this. That was the big thing from NXT is the two women's title matches. We mention every week. If you guys are not checking out NXT, go out of your way because I'm looking forward to Stand and Deliver and what they give us.
I have one more. Shout out to TNA for actually getting not only freaking Lash Legend and fucking Jakari Jackson on and you get Tatum Paxley and freaking and what the hell's her name? Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan on the freaking show, and they're gonna actually go after the women's tag team titles in freaking TNA. So
and
shout
also
out to them. Oh, also JCJ actually went after Masha Slamovich, so that was another one that actually popped up. I love this relationship. I really genuinely love it.
Me too. I think this is the one thing we can actually say nice about Eric Bischoff now, because Eric Bischoff did say this is what's killing AEW is because WWE has this great relationship with TNA. He ain't wrong on that, because we get to see like the matches like Paul mentioned, like JC Jane against Masha, Lash and Jakara going against Gigi and Tatum, and that whole thing with the women's Knockouts Tag Team Championships over there. Like, it's good. Like, what they're doing is very beneficial on both sides, man. Like, it's great to see. It really is.
Yep. I just want it to be another good show. Can't wait for the next pay-per-view for TNA. You know, that's all I'm waiting for.
Same here. I think we all can wait for a lot of more great wrestling, and we can wait more for more stuff coming on this fine program, the weekly review. We gave you the nice, we gave you the not so nice, and we gave you a little sugar and spice. And we got Dan just absolutely venting and just going all out buck wildness over here. Ain't that right, Dan?
He's part of AEW. He's going all out.
Yeah. So with that being said, no. Before we close this out, bro, Paul, where can we follow you on the social medias, man?
Of course, you can follow me. The name's right there, the Dead Man of RWT. You can follow me on every freaking platform, pretty much that it's known to man. No, not really, but my link will actually be down below. You can follow me on X, which Twitter. You can follow me on Blue Sky. Of course, you can follow me on TikTok. I'm starting to just get all of our freaking stuff together. Gonna probably shitload of freaking videos of us freaking being hilarious and being dumb, and DC over here falling asleep on us. But it's okay. I am perfectly fine with DC falling asleep on us because he's higher than a motherfucker right now too. So we will go with that. My link tree will be down below. Also follow the Facebook page for RWT Facebook page, which will also be a link down below. And don't follow me on Pornhub because I'm not on there. But that guy on that end, way over there, yeah, he on there. But anyways, DC, we need to find you, brother. Where can we find you, brother?
Mike will be putting the links in the description for where to find me. You know, you don't know the show. I'm on a lot of shows now, so it's Mike will put them all down there.
Yeah, exactly. Pile Driver Pundit, which will actually be down below, and of course, he's on that page with that guy over there, and we have another show that we actually call a roundtable.
Yep.
And we are actually going to do another episode, hopefully sometime soon, because we need to do another one, and we have a whole lot of freaking stuff on the docket. But Mr. Michael Larkin, where can we find you at, Mr. Sir?
Oh, yes. I will add on to Paul's point. So we are all going to get our thing scheduled. The six of us, Paul, Dan, Rob, Nicola, Moses, and all of us are going to be talking.
Man, why we got to have Moses on here, man? He over here leaving us. Yeah, I could find other people to replace him, man.
Just big leaking us, just leaving that group chat. Moses.
I got a cat that's probably more entertaining than fucking Moses right about now. Wow! Yeah,
we love you, Mo. We love you, Mo.
I love you, Moses, man.
So yes, we have. We got the Lucha Underground Roundtable, bro, and some WrestleMania roundtables coming up. If you want to follow yours truly, it's SM Show 1 or MCL92 or Larkin_92, MLarkinMB on Instagram, StephenMikeShow.com, LFCfights.com, and of course, Mike Larkin92 on the YouTube channel. Weekly review, Deep to the Heart Wrestling, Stephen Mike Show, LFC Podcast, Pop Culture History Podcast, Uncaged with Daniel and I. Daniel and our next episode is a two-parter as we're looking at the first part of WrestleMania 36 Part 1 in our episode for number 4 as we come close to the end of Season 5 very, very soon.
Don't get ahead of yourselves, Michael.
Man, we got a lot of stuff coming. So the content never stops. The grind never stops. And we appreciate each and every one of you for listening to the week's review.
Won't stop.
Okay, Miley Cyrus. Won't stop. Yeah, can't stop, won't stop. Oh, my goodness gracious. So for Paul Morales, for Daniel Crimmins, my name is Mike Larkin. Thank you so much for listening to the weekly review. And as always, I'll pay you.
I'll pay you.
Maybe.
Sort of.
No.
I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you want to play tough and want to hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow.
The past is gone. Now's the future.